What up, y'all? Episode 2. I got my man Gregg here. He's going to tell you about himself. So, Gregg, first question is agency background. How and why you chose Allstate and where your current size is at right now?
Great. Thanks for having me, Justin. So how and why? The how, because I actually met somebody on a boat that was an Allstate insurance agency owner out there. And at the time, she was over in honoring, and I met Iggy and Domingo, and these guys were sporting Rolex watches and having a good time. And I was out there in Bahamas. I'm like, what are these guys doing? They're all in insurance. So just because I ran into another agent, my background was my mom had worked for State Farm for 28 years. She had passed away in 2006 of Lou Gehrig's disease. And she left me a last love letter in the form of a life insurance policy that basically paid for all my kids' college and my brother's kids' college. And half of that money I took and I opened up an Allstate insurance agency. So at my 220, my 215 life, health, and annuity license, in 60 days, I was open with no customers.
That's amazing. And how big's the agency now?
Right now, we're right at $43 million in total premium.
Beautiful work. Second one, marketing specifically. How much do you spend? And usually what does that entail from a result perspective? Let's do items where you're in Florida.
Yeah, so we just actually completed my reconciliation for last month. We spent exactly $38,100 in total marketing spend last month. We did close to $790,000 in premium, which in Florida is about 530 items, right? So that's all lines of insurance, including Allstate and iVantage.
That's incredible. And how many salespeople do you have?
We've got 10. So I've got two, they're only iVantage facing LSPs, and I've got 8 Allstate only paper reps. We separate, the iVantage market from the Allstate paper just because Florida is such a beast. To be able to have people sell all lines to it's just too confusing, and it train wrecks the business. So that's why we separate those two.
Beautiful. And then accountability for that sales team. How do you hold them accountable, and what do those metrics look like for you?
It's the leaderboard, man. It's a dog eat dog in my business. If anybody's been on our webinars, or they've seen the people on the team that I run with, the accountability takes care of itself on the leaderboard every single day. So if you come in and you log in, you're getting to work and you see the leaderboard and you got a big goose egg from the day before, that peer pressure does it all. I don't have to micromanage anybody. We're all adults here. That pressure of trying to keep up with the best of the best, is their accountability strategy.
Yeah, beautiful. And fourth one, big one, especially because the agency size is massive and it's incredible and impressive. A $43 million agent, what does your day-to-day look like?
So my role has changed quite a bit, as you can imagine. I've been 17 years in the business. So, the saying working on the business instead of in the business is something that I separated myself with about 4 years ago. I've got a really, really mature team that is really responsible and executes on the vision that we have. But because we all agree to what the dynamic is and what the responsibilities are, I probably spend 20 hours a week in the office. I spend more time with my family working on, coaching and opportunities with other agents, that are out there in the insurance space. I have a couple different businesses I'm involved in. So I really don't have a lot of time, inside the agency, but I'm always steering the ship, right? So if I've got my leaders that need to come to me to help problem solve, they try to do it on their own first before they come to me. And if they get wrapped around the axle, or if they're needing my input, I'm going to happily jump in. But a day in the life looks a lot different than it did, 4 years ago. That's for sure.
Yeah. And it's always evolving. And finally, the best piece of advice, whether it's one sentence or a paragraph, doesn't matter, that you've ever gotten that you could give to someone for business.
I would say keep the main thing, right? At the end of the day, the customer is the most important thing in your agency. And if it's not for them, you wouldn't have a paycheck. You wouldn't have the nice cars that you have. You wouldn't have the financial stability that you have. You wouldn't have the residual income that you have. Keep the main thing, and over deliver, to the customer's expectations. I think that's probably the best advice I could give you.
Beautiful share. Thank you for joining me, man. Appreciate you. See you, Grandpa.